Now let's get a few more questions about these boosters and the Delta variant answered. Joining us this morning, as always, our resource on COVID, Dr. Ernst von Schwartz. Let's start with these recommended booster shots. We know the effectiveness of the vaccine drops over time. They're saying 8 months. How much is it dropping?
Well, if you look at the numbers, good morning, Joe, first of all. If you look at the numbers there's 3 studies out there now. Keep in mind that at the beginning of the year, there was an effectiveness of more than 90% of reducing hospitalization, severe disease, and death for all the vaccines, basically. And over time, data from May, for example, showed already that the effectiveness is reduced to 80%. So meaning the vaccines are still relatively good. I mean, they're effective and they prevent severe disease and death, but there's a difference over those several months. And if you look in the hospitals from my own experience, for example, I don't see any vaccinated people who were vaccinated in May or June in the hospitals, but and that's not scientifically analyzed, it's just anecdotal. I see, and my colleagues, we see now more and more people who have been vaccinated in January and February. And that's exactly the data from Israel, where supposedly now almost 50% of hospitalized patients are those who were vaccinated earlier in the year. So since months we were seeing, most likely we do expect the necessity for a booster shot, and now I think we are there. And we highly appreciate the administration's rule on that. And I think it's absolutely necessary starting September that we get a 3rd shot 8 months after the full vaccination, at least for the 2 messenger RNA vaccines.
They do throw in the caveat that this is pending FDA approval. What is the FDA waiting for? What do we not know as the public who says, okay, all these millions and millions of people have gotten the shot. Why not just fully approve it? What are they still waiting for?
Well, I mean, the FDA usually works a little slow, except for the vaccines. As you know, they permitted the emergent use authorization very quickly the end of last year, and now we're waiting for full approval. Keep in mind, the FDA is analyzing scientific data, and we just have few study data. Now, there was just a study from the Mayo Clinic published, there was some data from New York published, and we have the Israeli data. So we do expect that the FDA will react soon and will approve it, at least as an emergency use for now, but we do await full approval very soon.
And now the LA Times out with some good reporting this morning that California is seeing signs that Delta cases may be slowing here in the state. We were at about 11,800 cases per day over the last week. That's up 7% from the week before. But the previous week-to-week jump was 30%. And then in June, it was 85%. So are we peaking already here in California?
It seems so. I'm not quite sure. I mean, 3 weeks ago, in one of the hospitals I'm working, we had 5 COVID cases. Last week, we had 90 in the same place, and we are still at the same number. So we do admit new COVID cases right now on a daily basis, but it seems that it might have peaked a little bit. The other thing is, of course, we're at capacity. We really can't admit much more. Capacity with regard to ICU beds, but also capacity with regard to staffing, because that's a big issue in most of the hospitals right now.
Got it. Dr. Ernst von Schwartz, thanks so much for joining us here this morning, giving us the latest on boosters and the Delta variant. Thank you.
Thanks for having me, Joe. All the best.